Oh, my life, I'm back again. It's actually Wednesday evening, and for many years now, Wednesdays have traditionally been our live day. And usually I'd be taking you out for a hack at this time of year on this young lady here, Renska. But today was a little bit different. Tamara and I had a very important meeting with the wonderful and rather inspirational Nick Devonish, the Reverend, down at the Priory in the village, where Mum's funeral is going to take place on the 9th of July. So obviously that was very, very important for us to do. So there wasn't really time for me to squeeze in a ride with you all. Now, that said, it's still been a day of lives here. We started with our usual feeding time live that Frey and I always do. Then had a trip out with Iceman, Anya and Nero, complete with brilliant commentary, as always, from Jodie, who you've not really heard a lot from recently. But it was really lovely to have her out with us on both of the lives. And then we also had a live camera on the yard that Frey set up. So it has been a really special day, welcoming so many of you into our little world here. So a big hello and thank you to any new subscribers from today, and a huge thank you to everyone who took time out of your day to join us and the horses. Anyway, now on to the rest of today's video, which actually was too long to fit into the Monday vlog. So it's getting its own video here. Now, you may remember, or some of you won't know, but earlier this week we had our trainer Mel with us, but this time not for riding or groundwork. She actually brought her PEMF machine with her. Now, Jodie and I have both used PEMF therapy ourselves over the years and know how much it can help both people and animals. But until now, we've never had anybody locally who offered it for animals. So we've often said that we'd love to have our own system here at the sanctuary one day, but for now, Mel, who's recently invested in the Hofmag PEMF system, we thought because she'd got it, we jumped at the chance to get started with some of the horses. So if you've never heard of PEMF, it stands for Pulsed Electromagnetic Field Therapy. So in simple terms, it helps detect areas in the body where cells might be struggling, where their energy supply, which is called ATP, has dropped. Now, ATP is a bit like fuel for your cells. It's what powers them to do their jobs. And when they run low, the cells can't function properly and you get inflammation setting in, and that in turn causes pain and stiffness. So what PEMF does is it gently stimulates all of those tired cells, a bit like massaging them from the inside, and helps them to produce more of this ATP again, which then kickstarts their natural healing process. So the great thing about the Hofmag system in particular is that it can reach deep inside the body, up to 20 centimetres. And it's brilliant for targeting those tricky areas that are hard to reach in horses, like the poll, the rib cage, the belly and the sacroiliac joint. So what happens is when this machine finds the area that needs help, you'll often see sort of twitching or pulsing in the muscles. And that's the body reacting to the treatment and showing you exactly where the inflammation is. Now, obviously the horses can't talk, but they do usually let you know when you've hit the right spot. They start relaxing, leaning into it, or shifting themselves just to get the right feeling. So, as I say, today's video is a bit of a long one, but I wanted to show you Nero's first ever session in full. Mel and myself, we were with him for about an hour, so I've edited out the bits where Mel and I went off chatting, as you do, but I've tried to leave in all the important parts, including when Nero did a typical Nero thing towards the end of the session that I'm sure will make you all giggle. I wasn't laughing too much at the time, but you'll understand why when you see it. Anyway, hopefully you'll enjoy watching it and you'll pick up some really useful information along the way. Nero's going to be having another session on Thursday, which works well because it will help him in his recovery from his ride and lead around the village today. You know, this isn't a magic fix, you know, but we really believe that by having regular PEMF treatment, it's going to help improve his overall comfort and well-being. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, for supporting the work that we do here at the Sanctuary. And finally, if you would like to sponsor a PEMF session for any of the horses, there's a link in the description to our wish list on the website. So good night from me, and good night from Ren and Nika behind me here. So presumably you always start at the shoulder just because
it's the lowest, the lowest area of pressure problem, and then I'm just scanning his body so you can see where it picks up information, and then what you do is you scan the body and then you decide, and generally you treat 3 areas on each side. So it's like a half-hour treatment then.
Yeah.
Because
that will pick up where the
where
the issues are.
So like so far for him it's the shoulder. There's a little bit up here, but the middle of him wasn't standing over his back, the side of his back. It's really interesting that the ones that are ridden and the ones that aren't, and the ones that are ridden are all inflamed in the back usually.
Are they? That's interesting, but not surprising really, is it?
No. Interesting that he's probably the least inflamed horse on this side that I've ever done. So there we go.
You're on his good side.
On his good side.
What, apart from the neck?
Wow. Yeah, it's the neck.
See, this side, first of all, like touch quite a lot, but the other side is really reactive too.
I had it
It's really weird, but that's actually not as bad as it was since I've been doing the exercises, like just moving his crest backwards and forwards. It has loosened off a little bit. I think I might have to have your teeth done in as well, actually, because you just dropped something in there and it smelled. Some teeth sort of hanging out instead.
So you've got some on his back on this side, and there's nothing on his back on the other side.
Okay. Which will presumably tie in with.
Yeah, it's hock, isn't it?
Yeah. Although I do think that there's other problems other than this hock. Right, so it's hock.
Yeah, so this side, compared to the other side.
A lot more reactive, isn't it? Is that reacting up there?
Yeah. It's only on one, so the magnetic wave goes 20 centimetres deep regardless of what setting it's on.
Okay.
But the depth of it goes less.
Right.
So as it gets to 20 centimetres, it's very shallow strength.
Yeah.
It still gets there. So the aim is the higher you can go, the better you can treat them.
Yeah, because it's...
Yeah, but like some horses are like, I suppose, like he's not bothered, but some horses on the first treatment you can't get past one.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because
they're
so reactive, or there's so much inflammation that it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, and some of I think obviously like people, some horses are just not sensitive than people. Anyway.
Interesting, he stops.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, that's a lot more reactive there.
Good work.
Bad.
So what we'll do is because he's quite reactive all over that side, then what we do is we use the big loop the first time.
Yeah.
So you can cover a whole you can try and cover a whole surface area on the side of his body. Whereas the other side, I'd probably use a small ring on the actual
and just on his shoulder
and his neck.
Right, okay.
Because that's where the areas were. So the big ring, so you've got your little ring, your medium ring, and you've got a big ring. So the big ring's not as on one, it won't show much because it's going to go over bigger areas. So you have to have it higher usually. And then you've got you've got the small rings, you've got a really definite place. And then you've got a double big ring like this.
Yeah.
And then you've got a
can you plug in more than one at a time?
No.
No, it's always one at a time. Yeah.
And then you've got a double little ring. So you put that around his heart. What you usually do is you focus on the body and then you get them, and then you can do a bit on his hock.
Yeah.
And then if they've been really good, you go to the jaw.
Right, okay.
So it just depends on. Yeah. So basically you just go off.
And what does it go up to?
13.
So
you just keep going.
Yeah.
And when you react, then you stop.
So if he bites me really hard.
Yeah, I mean usually they like stop and look a bit. It's not like start from there.
Okay. Shall I go up from that?
Yeah, you can keep going. Yeah, that's it. Well, okay, the first horse I've done has gone up to 30 on his first treatment.
Don't you put your foot in it? Don't.
Obviously 13 on this isn't quite as intense
as on the smaller ring.
Yeah. So if you don't settle, you just go there to play around, but you won't concentrate on it. Do you want to find the point where they can relax with them?
Yeah. I'm thinking about it.
Oh boy.
You see, this is nicer than just being in your teriyaki from the gate, playing with treat balls, or escaping. But it's like the first time with Rachel,
you know all of it like this. I haven't done one that's you just get
just accepted it, yeah.
Because I think, well, I don't really, he knows how they feel it as well.
Well, you know from having it on yourself that if it is a bit too high, it's quite uncomfortable.
When it stops, if you just press the right hand plus button, we'll just do one more minute.
Yeah. Thinking about it now. I think you've realised that.
That's going now, isn't it?
I'm jealous.
And then just press that button.
Oh, all right, darling. Oh.
You see the wire?
Yeah. Have you just realised?
Yeah, I think it has, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's even paying attention.
Isn't that funny how it took him quite a while to actually realise?
realise what was happening.
Yeah.
It's going to make you shut the world out, doesn't it?
And his eyes have softened now.
Yeah. Boy. Yeah, so you can put this round the neck. Like
Oh, what, over the head?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it does the whole thoracic sling then. So so you can do the whole. So you can.
It's like if we had that, you'd
Yeah,
spend
you're all-
your entire day just
you could do
doing this with
one
them.
horse for an hour and a half easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily. I find it really. I try and think about an hour from start because we've been talking to the person.
Exactly.
But it's so we could have draped this over and this out, but we won't too long.
Because there are ones that are like rugs, aren't they? But
Yeah.
they don't concentrate on a specific
Yeah, they just do
area,
the
they just
whole-
do the whole body, which,
So like you see that's only on one on the big loop.
yeah, there's still quite a lot of
Quite a
movement.
lot of movement, yeah. And it's doing that down here.
I'm not used to standing still for this long.
And this is what's going on, is it?
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah, so the idea is you eventually get over the high as you can, but I think each horse has a tolerance.
Yeah, so what's he on that?
4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll write the both down after this one. Yeah, so you do the best treatment. You know, the best treatment when it's as high as the horse can manage.
Yeah.
But the first time's always, I think, is always a bit, not quite sure, I don't think. And then it's like the second time, they almost know what it's going to feel like.
Yeah, so they're a bit more relaxed, yeah.
I've had one like him that sort of ignored the whole process.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's...
Most of them are suspicious as soon as you walk up to them with it. They're
Oh,
like,
okay.
well,
Yeah, Red Score will probably be
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, most, yeah.
Yeah.
That's better. But this is, I don't know very well, but this is his personality, isn't it? I'll
Oh, it is.
ignore something, barge around, and I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And I'll decide that wasn't the right thing.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily treating
Yeah,
something
yeah, I'm not here to, don't do a
or
diagnosis.
diagnose, no.
Okay.
Oh, his little face.
Oh, bless him.
Oh, yes, that's actually really good.
No, don't.
Just
He's
enjoy
waiting
it.
for being nice.
Yeah. Just enjoy it. No. Oh, there we go.
It is quite fascinating how they're doing them.
And just seeing their
Yeah,
reactions.
just seeing how they all react differently
Yeah.
and how.
Because he does some quite extreme yawning. Usually,
Right.
if I'm working on his neck this side, it's really like that.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first real yawning
Yeah.
he's done, isn't it?
And the other thing I've noticed you do, he might be doing it for that reason, so you need the muscle to be fired when you're looking for the areas of inflammation. It shows better if the muscle's it's fired up rather than relaxed. But when you treat them, they some of them almost rest the legs to let it go deeper, put the legs at peculiar angles. And I had one horse that was really sore behind his shoulder at the front, and he moved his front leg back like that.
Right, yeah. But I suppose that's like even the basics of when you're giving them scratches, itches and scratches, they'll move their body and they'll tell you where they want you.
Where they want you to.
Yeah. That's actually why I didn't want to have them tied under the solarium,
Right,
because I wanted them to choose what part of their body they wanted to have under it.
Right, yes, I think it keeps moving because when it.
And what's that on at the moment? Right.
Two.
Yeah, so it only really low. Good boy.
It's like he's trying to block it out, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. Let's think about it. Good. Yeah, you're looking for other distractions
Yeah.
now.
And he moves his leg. He moves his leg so it doesn't vibrate. He keeps moving his leg so it doesn't get in the sail. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So then that's because it's going to slow, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
This is the thing, he'd benefit from that, like,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah,
for
probably, yeah. Yeah, probably.
however
Good
long.
boy.
Good lad. So have you got that on one? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you just distract yourself with chewing on me.
Not really bothered, is it?
No.
Like you say, that might not be painful. He's obviously really sore in that.
Yeah, well, I just think that, yes, that's where the problem's been, but the knock-on effect through his whole
Tell
body.
about the shape of it though, can't you?
Yeah.
How he just hold himself in not a very comfortable way.
Yeah, and a lot of the time he's resting that.
So yeah, so you don't go down limbs unless you know there's an issue.
Right,
Because you don't
okay.
get any reaction.
Yeah.
No tissue, so you don't, because this is, it's basically, anybody can use it, can't they? Yeah. And that's the idea.
Yeah, but you've just got to be able to read the horses and read their reaction. Right, darling. Alright.
Obviously.
Yeah, that was.
Good boy.
Alright. No.
Good boy.
No. No.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good boy.
Yeah, to actually lift it up like that.
Good boy.
Good.
Good boy. Yeah, she said she'd
Uh-huh.
done a few with like,
Sorry. No.
she said she'd done like a few with hock arthritis. Quite
really?
bad hock arthritis.
Yeah.
And they'd had quite not liked it. But then they got better, she said.
Yeah.
Because they've been trying to experiment on treating them without steroids. And she said they've had quite a lot of good success. But she said if you've got one that's got quite a painful hock, it will let you know.
Right.
Good boy. So,
Alright, darling.
you've got no idea.
Good lad.
Boy.
So maybe I was wrong, the pain is from there.
Yeah, you can like it, doesn't it?
No.
Boy, just keep doing it a little bit. More like we want it, isn't it? Being very good about it.
Right. Good. Good. Good.
Like you can stand a few seconds up and can and then
Yeah, and then it becomes all too much.
I do that.
Right. Good lad.
So,
The tail's getting in the way now.
boy.
Good. Uh-huh.
Boy. Oh, good lad. Good boy.
Right. Okay, okay, okay. okay? You okay? This is where it is interesting because it's like when I brought him to you that time.
Yeah.
Like the second it gets quite uncomfortable, his reaction is just to power through and run.
Right, well, we've got 2 minutes left, so what we'll do, we'll do it later. We'll do it at the end.
You what?
We'll go back to it.
Yeah? Okay.
And then we'll give him a bit of a... And we're not making him really fed up with us, are we? No. Right, let's go.
I think you'll sleep well now.
I'll put down this side.
Hold on, I'll move him. Let's wake up. Just go around that way. No, don't eat the camera.
It's not.
He's just...
Fine.
That's the thing, he's such a character. I can see why he was branded as dangerous where he was, because he's got such an active little mind. Now that's rude. That's twice you've given me bites. It's not very nice. Don't.
She's making me feel fine. It was funny how his back end was what he really liked it to start with.
He did, didn't he? And then it got to a point where he just couldn't tolerate it anymore. Stop looking for the
But
food.
this is right, it's this shoulder, because it's the diagonal to that high leg.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
You can
It's
see
quite
it
specific.
vibrating all the way down.
Feel it, really feel it.
He's a good boy.
Not a pleasant one to hold.
Stop. Stop.
Some of them you're like, that's what that Ottie was like, that from there. She was like this.
Oh, really?
Oh god, she's horrendous, bashing, crashing, charging off.
Right.
Now she's done yesterday for the video for Lauren, it was still just tied up eating a hay net while I did it.
Yeah.
Oh, good boy.
Good.
That's only on one.
Is it? Wow, that's a lot of movement for one, isn't it? Do we need Mel to give up all her Mondays and come over and do this? Good. Good. I do sometimes think with the fact that he's always wanting to climb up things, that it's that movement that gives him some kind of...
Release, yeah. Larry was like, see, Larry's interested in that stretching rod now.
Oh, is he not? After going up and...
No, since I got the Hofmag.
Oh, that's interesting.
So kind of then went into picking up some of it, so now he's literally climbing over the fence.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't even want to do it.
Oh, right.
Because he would go to the bottom of it and I'd just stand there and he would just climb up it like a man.
Yeah.
And now I go to and he stands there. So that's ever since I got this.
Right.
So obviously this has given him the release and the lack got
That
rid of that
he
feeling.
needed.
Because I suppose yourself, if you've got you're a bit sore in your muscles.
Yeah, you want to stretch it, yeah.
And now he doesn't feel like obviously he needs to stretch it, so.
I think we can get you to that point. Okay. I mean, it's going to depend on what time you've got, but what would you suggest would be the next
We're hit
thing
off
for
like
him
this.
there?
I would say probably within a week.
Yeah.
And then, so what she said to me was that if they've got an issue, you know, like we've got, like he has got, like Laura's got a condition, or he's got something, then you almost need to hit them quite hard, to get enough to get enough information away to then be able to do less.
Yeah.
So she said you hit them really hard with it, and then you can go. And then she said going forwards for a multiple condition, it doesn't want to be less than 3 weeks, more than 3 weeks.
Well, would it work if... Ah! Shh! Shh! Go back. Shh. But he's looking at you and saying, what have you just done to me? I think you quite enjoyed that, really, little bits of it. I didn't enjoy the biting, though. It's really weird, this part. Yeah. As you say, there's just those moments where he accepts it and then it's like that. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see when I do his neck exercises tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's looser.
I was turning that away.
Yeah.
Really,
You're right. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Good boy. Get tongue. Yeah, I always just think that his whole body must ache.
Yeah, the shape of him,
Yeah. That was silly. That was silly.
I wonder whether if you're going to come on Thursday, we should leave the hot. We did nearly 3 minutes on the hot.
Okay. Yeah, and that would be about as much as you could tolerate.
I just want to try and find something that he quite likes to finish.
Yeah.
Rather than finishing where it feels like it's not been that pleasant. This curve is probably not seen that far before, so.
Sorry.
That's interesting. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, is it moving now?
So on the little lip early on,
There was nothing.
there was nothing.
Oh, that's...
No, I've never going to do that. Where you go with the little lip, I couldn't get reaction with the little lip.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Oh,
movement
yeah.
there now. He does like to be different.
Yeah.
But I wonder whether by releasing some of the tension that side, it's now showing it this side.
Look at that. Wobbling. Oh, it's addictive.
Yeah.
It's meant to do it. I like trying to street. Well, I can't for you to do it anyway, can you? You can't. Okay, it's going to like
I can't believe he did that. Yeah. I think anything with Nero is outtakes, really. Oh my goodness, have you broken it off the stand? There we go. Right. Well, it's still filming. Oh, that was my phone now.
Oh, it's going back to the camera.
He broke my phone in the first week, I think, that he was here. He just picked it up and crunched it. But, you know, this is the nice thing about, you know, what we're doing now, is that even though they're not working horses, having any kind of treatment just to help them feel better in themselves.
Exactly, you can see, like, he's sore. How he's reacting.
Yeah, and that's not because he works. It's just, because of your issues.
It wants to like it, but you just can't bring yourself to just allow yourself to let go, can it?
I think it will be very different by the third session.
Yeah, with the other times.
Oh, there we go.
Boy.
There we go.
There you go. A little bit nice.
There. Where do you want to go now? Do you want to go to bed, or do you want to go in the arena? Huh?
Well, it's the day after Nero's Hofmag treatment, and I don't know whether it's wishful thinking, but I have to say, when he walked out his stable this morning onto the walker, there was no hesitation, which sometimes there is. So you'd like to think that his overall body was feeling a little more energised. And just having watched him throughout the day in the turnout with Hidda here, he's not been resting that leg quite as much. You know, he's certainly, it's not a miracle cure, you know, and it's a short-term benefit, but the more that he can have it done, hopefully the more it will reduce some of that inflammation in his body. So he's got another day of rest. I'm going to try and do a ride and lead with him tomorrow, and then he'll have another session with Mel on Thursday.
I wake up in the morning with a smile on my face, feeling thankful for the love and the happiness we chase. Sun is shining brightly, sky so blue and clear. With every breath I take, I'm grateful you are near. So grateful, yeah. Thank you for the laughter, thank you for the tears. Thank you for the moments that we hold dear. Thank you for the love, thank you for the light. I'm grateful every day. You make my world so bright, oh so bright. The world can be a crazy place, with valleys and with peaks, but you bring joy into my life. Turn frowns into cheeks through all the ups and downs. You've been my saving grace.